In this video, we'll go over how to make an on-edge teardrop and a variation of that, a shaped teardrop, as well as a marquise and its variation, the shaped marquise, all in on-edge style. I'll also show how to make a diamond and a variation that's sort of a kite shape. I don't really know what to call these shapes, hollow shapes or on-edge. The terminology doesn't really matter. The point that I'm trying to make is to distinguish it from other traditional quilling shapes that all start with a rolled coil. So here are the more traditional shapes, and you can see how these are the same shapes, just with one single strip of paper rather than with a rolled coil. So let's get going with the teardrop shape. Start by curving the paper between your finger and your tool. I like to use the needle tool for this. You can run the paper quickly between your finger and the tool or curve it like this. You might have measurements in your PDF guide for the specific pattern you're working on, or you might use the reference image to get the size right. Just hold it up to the reference image until it's about the right size and then cut it down. Keep adjusting the paper by curling it more or adjusting the size by trimming it down. Then glue the ends together. You'll probably need to hold it closed for a little while until the glue feels set. You can then check it against the reference image to make sure you're happy with it. And once the glue is set, you can keep adjusting it if needed by rounding it out more with your tool. That's all there is to the on-edge teardrop shape. For a shaped or curved teardrop, again, you might have measurements in your PDF guide, or this one comes together a little differently, and so in most cases, you'll just use your reference image to get the size of the paper that you need. Starting in the middle of the strip, curl the paper in one direction, hold it up against the reference image then to see if it's about the size of the outer curved side. And then flip it over, and again, starting in the middle, curl it in the opposite direction. It will start to make an S-shaped curve. Wrap it around so that the ends meet and you'll start to see it take shape. Cut it down better to size and then keep adjusting it by curling it at various points to get it curving to match the reference image. Just keep playing with it. Just keep curling it to get the shape right, keep trimming off paper as needed, and play with it until you're happy with how it's looking and it's roughly matching the reference image. Yours may not 100% match the reference, and that's okay. Just get it about to the same size. Once you're happy with it, glue the ends together. Check it again now that it's glued, and at this point you can keep adjusting if you need to by curving out the sides more with your tool. The on-edge marquise and shaped marquise are shapes you might see in designs like the leaves on these flowers. A marquise for this one and a shaped marquise here. Those both have another line in the middle, but the outside of the shape is the marquise and shaped marquise. Again, you might have measurements listed in your PDF guide or use the reference image. Start by curving one side and holding it up to the reference image to get the size right. You're just measuring one side of that shape. And then mark the point with your tweezers and bend the paper at that point. Fold the paper over itself and use the end of that strip as a mark to cut the paper. When you open it up, you'll have two even sides. Curl each side a little more with your tool and check it against the reference image for size. Trim it down a little if you need to. Then glue the ends closed. If needed, once the glue has set, keep adjusting it by squishing it or curve out the edges more. The shaped marquise is a little more involved. Again, just hold a paper strip up to the reference image to roughly get the length needed. It's curved, so it's not going to be exact just yet, but we'll trim it down. Just like the last piece, fold it over itself and cut so you have 2 even sides. Then this time you're going to keep it folded closed so that you curve both sides at the same time. Take your tool and starting in the middle, curve both pieces together in one direction, then flip it over and starting in the middle again, curve it from the middle out in the opposite direction. With both sides folded together, it will make an S shape. And when you open it up, it will look like this. It's kind of closed right now, but we're going to keep shaping it. Keep curving each side with your tool. This one takes a good amount of playing with it, using your fingers and your tool to curve it and open it up. Just keep pronouncing those curves and just keep playing with it until it's starting to come together. Check it against the reference image to get the size right and then trim it down. And then from there, just keep adjusting it with your tools. Once it's starting to take shape, glue the ends closed. Wait for the glue to dry and then you can keep adjusting it more if needed. And use your reference image to get it to your liking. Again, yours may not match the reference image exactly, but that's okay. Just use that as a starting point. To make an on-edge diamond, fold a small strip in half. And then fold the paper from one side into the middle. Unfold that and repeat on the other side. The result will be that you have 4 even sides. Bring the ends together and glue them closed. Then depending on how you move the angles around, you'll have a square or a diamond. I want to show you a slight variation on this diamond, which is used in this snowflake design. The middle points on this one are more of a third of the way down rather than in the middle. You do have measurements for this one in your PDF guide as well. So you'll start the same way that you do with a marquise shape by curving the strip and then fold it in half and glue the ends closed. The diamond has the middle corners halfway down right in the middle of the sides, but this one will have them more about a third of the way down. You can either eyeball it or use your reference image. Hold it up to the image and use your tweezers to mark where the point on the side is and then curve the paper a little bit around your tweezers and then repeat on the other side. Check it again to make sure it looks right and then use your tweezers to make the corners a little more pronounced. And for this specific one, they're actually kind of rounded, so you can run the paper between your finger and your needle tool and you'll round those corners out just a little bit. The result is kind of like a kite shape. I'm not really sure what else to call it. And that's all for these shapes. If you have any questions or need help, please email hello@thequillingedge.com. Have fun and happy quilling.